Hello, everyone. It's been a week or so since I made and posted my last video. I've felt incredibly overwhelmed by the responses I've gotten and just by the overall number of people that have watched the first and second video. Thank you again for watching and for caring, and even though it might be uncomfortable to listen to this sometimes or hear my story or other people's story, we're not sharing them to make you feel bad or regretful or feel bad for us. Like, although that might be the case, like for me, this honestly just feels healing to get it off of my heart and mind and shoulders. I'm going with my intuition about when and how and what to post and talk about, and so far that's been going really well. I knew what I wanted to share with y'all next, and after I posted my last video like 6 or 7 days ago, I started thinking, okay, what's next? And I knew the story I wanted to share. It's sort of like jumping back and forth from like the end to the beginning, and then I wanted like to jump back to the end and share with you the story of the last time that I was ever at the studio. The last time I was ever, stepped foot in that place, when it really like cracked me open and I realized, like, now I really saw things, like, and this is what I wanted to share with you next, but it just didn't feel right. It wasn't like, I don't want this to feel forced. I really want this to just come through naturally and at the extent that my nervous system can process it, and just really trusting in myself of when and how to speak about this. It wasn't coming to me, the inspiration to hop back on here and make the video. Although I knew what I wanted to share, I was still surprised. Well, why isn't it, why don't I just want to do it now? But I was honoring that. And then, not yesterday, but the day before, I had a friend come over and she shared with me some incredibly devastating news that like has shaken me to my core. And I realized that the reason why I couldn't tell that story is because I actually didn't know a big piece of it, that someone in my story, someone a part of my story, a big part of my story, has passed away and gone to heaven. Rest in peace, her soul. She was really young, like mid-20s. I think under 25 actually. And she passed away like 9 months ago, in Vancouver, and of a drug overdose. And like fentanyl, and I believe she passed away like alone at her condo, and they found her, a while later. But she was far too young to pass away. And I used to live in Vancouver. I used to do the nightlife. I feel like I can relate to her, that if it was maybe even like a few years later that I had been in Vancouver, or if I didn't have the family that I have and the support systems. It's just really easy to get caught up into that scene, and drugs are no freaking joke. Like, they, you know what I mean? In the best of times, they're like deadly, but now with the fentanyl problem, it's like, it's not even fun or worth the risk, or it's just like such a epidemic that's happening. And we're losing a lot of young people. I've also lost people prior to this in my life, young, from drugs. And today's episode, or today's YouTube, I really wanted just to take a moment, take a break. I didn't feel like I could go on and tell the rest of my story, this next part, without honestly just honoring this woman and honoring her life. I don't want to just make her a part of my story. I really want to take this moment and mourn for her loss and the loss of her family. And it doesn't matter if you didn't know her. I only ever met her once, but she played a big part of my experience. And it breaks my heart that that's where her story ended. I want to honor her story, honor her in this way, which I'd like to light this candle for her here, this little green one. And if you knew her, of course, like, you can join with me, but I would also just like to open this up to a moment of remorse, of awareness, of honoring, of recognizing that a lot of us have lost someone through the pandemic, from suicide, whether it's on purpose or accidental. Like, there's just a lot of death that has happened. And whether you knew her or you knew someone else, I would like to light this candle and offer that we can take a moment of silence, and like 1 minute of silence after I light the candle, and just hold anyone in your heart and in your mind that comes to the surface, young or old, honoring them in the simplest way of remembering them and loving them energetically from here. So I'll go ahead and light this candle. It's one of the magical colored flame candles, so the flame will be a different color than the candle. And her name started with a V. This is for you, V. the candle went out. What does that mean? Was that my strong exhale? I'm sorry, V. Let's start that again. It just lit up so fast. Or like, can I just not see it? Yeah, there is a flame actually. It's blue. Well, I feel like I want to light another one because I can't really see that flame. So I'm gonna light a pink one. I light this candle in honor of all the beautiful souls who it was their path to leave prior to this point. We wish them well. We honor them. We love them. We wish them all the best. May they rest in peace. I think they look better at nighttime because also this one is burning. You can see, but it's just very faint. So I guess this is just the way it's meant to be today. And that's okay. Put it right here next to the green one. One of my favorite songs is the Amazing Grace song. Maybe we could just sing a little bit of that song together. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Much love to you all.